Evening. Welcome to House Groups. Justin Jepson from Northwestern was with us this Sunday morning, speaking in our When Life is Hard series, and he taught us out of Psalm 27. If you read Psalm 27, Psalm 27 starts with a really important truth. It teaches us that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? I think the hard times have a way of just fostering a lot of fear in us, right? We begin to wonder, we begin to fear what will happen if our kids stay sick or if our grandkids don't get healthy. We begin to fear what will happen if there's another round of layoffs at work. We begin to fear what will happen if I never get married. What will happen if I'm never able to have kids? And fear starts to take us over. But here's the thing about fear. Fear is forgetting. It's forgetting that the Lord is our light and our salvation, that Jesus is with you, that Jesus is your rescuer. He is the one who fights for you. He is the one who has a plan. He's the one who, as Romans 8 says, is working out all things for our good, even if that's a good that we're never going to completely understand this side of heaven. And so verse 4 of Psalm 27 tells us, therefore, that the one thing that we should seek is to dwell in the house of the Lord. It's to dwell in his presence. But I think this is a truth that's really important for Christians in 2019. Because for the most part, I think the majority of us lack the discipline to make Christian routines a priority. We lack the discipline to make the seeking of the Lord the one thing that we put above everything else. Many of your grandparents, or even parents, if they were believers, I know many of you are sort of first generation believers, but many of you that kind of come from those Christian families, your grandparents probably never missed church on a Sunday morning. They never missed their group during their week, or for a lot of them, that was their Sunday school class. They were dead serious about being in the Word every day, about waking up and seeking God in prayer. But I think many Americans, a couple generations later now, many younger Americans nowadays, we kind of only do those things if we can squeeze them in, if our schedule isn't already busy. And sort of think about the irony here, because I hear from so many of you that you just really respect the faith of your parents or the faith of your grandparents. But do you know why you're able to admire their faith despite all that life has thrown at them over the years? You admire them because they learned the discipline of seeking the Lord as the one thing that they put above everything else. They desired to dwell in the house of the Lord Almighty all the days of their life. That's every Sunday, that every morning that they are seeking the Lord. And they learned then that in God's presence, they don't have to fear, that he is their light, that he is their salvation. So start there. Commit to making that the one thing that you prioritize above everything else in your life. And that will begin to reduce fear and increase faith in your life. Amen.